Alright, getting ready to change this fuel filter out. My X5 diesel. Have the shield removed right here. It's the one next to the transmission. It's not the one that's way over here that goes underneath basically the running boards. There's a little gap in the shield so you can actually see this without taking anything off. So just make sure you're taking the correct one off, because I took this one off intelligently. Looks like it's been done before. There's a worm clamp replacing the one-time clamp that comes here stock. Unfortunately, the genius that put this on, the screw is coming from the very top, so I'm gonna have to loosen the brackets here and rotate it a little bit. I've already removed the plug from the heater going in, so get to messing with this now. I'm going to just I think I'll just undo the bracket up here to see if I can rotate it around enough to get that clamp loose up front. These are 10 millimeters. Holding it into the bracket. I have rags here so that when the diesel inevitably runs down my arm and into my armpit, I have something there for that. Alright, how does this come out? Okay, you just pull these back, I guess. Yep, these just come right out. They hook into a little bracket right here. There's foam. I think we have to reuse this foam and put it on the new filter. It's probably just stuck in here. Yep, there we go. Alright, and you have hard lines down over here to the left side, so these are all hard lines over here, but they do flex enough to help me get this out. So, alright, is this a Phillips or a flathead? I still can't tell. It's a flathead. Okay, where's my little screwdriver? Taking this clamp off. I have a little drain bucket right here. Anybody if you're ever working on something and you're putting it, reassembling stuff, just keep in mind it helps that rotate clamps and crap around to where you can actually access it easily. Okay, this is really tight, but at least they used a good clamp. I don't even know if this is factory. It might be. Usually when people do these jobs, they replace these clamps with really crappy ones that strip out on you. Hopefully the system is not under pressure. It's been sitting all night. I think I'm gonna just find oh yeah, they tighten the shit out of that. It's like starting to strip the clamp out. Lovely. Alright, let's get this foam out. Set one of these brackets back in here real quick. I think I'm going to get okay, it's not gonna hold. I really want to get a socket on this instead of using the screwdriver, just because it's still really fucking tight. There we go. Now it's loose-ish. Yeah, this clamp is jacked up. You can like see it's like starting to strip out right there. Oh well. I have extras if this one doesn't want to hold. We got a good amount of slack left. Alright. So those fuel lines, you usually just want to twist it to break them loose. Get ready for this to drain out. Grab, twist, and drain. Not too bad. Just kind of let this sit here and do its thing for a minute. So it just stops draining. Alright, on the back of the filter, we have this little clip we have to pull out. See if I can just get a little flathead in there and pop that out. Oh yeah, get AC condenser water just running down onto my head. That's cool. Alright, this comes out pretty easily. Simple. Fits into a little notch right there. Set that aside. So this should just come right out. Yep, just wiggle it a little bit. Ugh. In theory, it doesn't twist. I guess it just pulls straight off. Maybe not. Ugh. Well, yanking it doesn't help. Let's look at the new one. Let's see if there's any trick. Just looks like it sits in a little notch in here. Let's see if a little pry action helps. Oh yeah. Maybe. Okay, it's definitely looser than before. Oh yeah, it's coming. You just have to pull it straight out. There we go. It's a lot more fuel coming out. So there's an O-ring on there. So I guess the O-ring was just a little stuck. Alright, we need to reuse these foam pads that are on the filter, these insulators. So I'll just slide those off. Okay. Everything looks clean. The O-ring isn't torn, which is good. Alright, let's grab the new filter. Alright. New filter is a Wix 5002X. So that's what I'm putting on it. I just like Wix filters. They've always served me well. They seem relatively high quality. The new one came with its little gasket, little rubber gasket that'll fit in here. Just looking to make sure the old one came off. It's not on the filter, but I also don't see it in the pan anywhere, which is a little odd. Maybe that's why this one was difficult to get off. It's because it didn't have that. All right. Anyways, diesel on my hands. Okay. So this heater is keyed. There's a notch right here, and then there's one side of the filter has the notch. If you look at 12 o'clock, there's a notch in here, so that's where it's going to key in. So let's put this O-ring in and then drop it in some dirt. It's not even an O-ring, it's a gasket. Okay. Damn, this thing just wants to fall out immediately. Alright, that went in very easily. Let's get our clip. Yes, okay. I'm going to go from the bottom with this clip. It was on the top, I'm going to go from the bottom just because it's easier that way. Right into place. Alright, let's get our rubber insulators, slide these over. Let's get these aligned. There's no tension on the bracket. There's no tension on the fuel line. Have it sitting up there naturally. Just weird because the fuel line is like sticking off of the side rail over here. So I just want to make sure that it's not under any sort of tension or bound up. I guess I should have noted that before, but it seems to be fine. Okay, let's get these hold down brackets and get this bolt started. Alright, take the cap off the tip. Alright, let's orient this clamp to where it's not hiding. There we go. I'm going to get a socket that fits that because it does not feel good using a screwdriver. Really? So 5.5 millimeter is too big. Let's try 5 or 4. Five is perfect. Okay. And we're back. Okay. Alright, fuel lines aren't bound up, a little bit of slack for everything. Seems pretty happy. Alright, let's tighten these brackets back. Going nowhere. Let's plug the heater back in over here. Alright, we're back in business. I'm just going to spray this down a little bit with some brake parts cleaner just to kind of clean everything up. And then we'll go up top and then we'll prime. Alright, so to prime this, I'm going to be using Protool. It's an app that makes life incredibly easy. So let's go get some ignition going. There we go. Tach will usually do a sweep once it connects, or the speedometer will sweep. There we go. Alright, so let's go on to drivetrain. Fuel pump, functions, prime fuel pump. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Fuel pump will prime for 2 minutes. Please confirm. So if you have a weak battery, you should probably put it on maybe a battery tender or something. But anyways. Alright, fuel pump is priming. Dismiss the message to cancel priming. So we're going to leave it. I can actually hear the pump going right now. Go underneath to make sure everything's good and no leaks. Wow, that is really loud. At least you know it's working. So, just gonna keep an eye over here, make sure our fitting is not leaking. Alright. I'm going to let it do its thing for 2 minutes and then we'll come back. Alright, we're back after 2 rounds of priming with Protool. I could hear some air in the lines, still a couple little air bubbles passing through after the first prime, so I just went ahead and did it again. So everything checked out, there was no leaks. This is really useful because if you hit cancel while it's priming, it'll stop priming. So in case you're priming and then you realize that you have a fuel leak out of one of your connections down there, you just hit cancel and it stops the priming process. So that's really nice. Alright, well, let's see if it starts up with these. Perfect. Alright, there you have it. Protool makes life a hell of a lot easier when you own a BMW, that's for sure. Alright, so here's our old filter. It was a OEM Malley, whatever you want to call it. Here's a little fun thing I learned working in like a oil change shop. You take your old fill filter, just hit it a couple times, and then invert it so your outlet or your inlet is out. You can see some of the cool stuff that comes out of there. Just brown chunks of dirt and all kinds of stuff coming out. Oh yeah, that's nice. Alright. Delicious. Alright, well, put everything back together, reverse order. Don't forget the little foam that you take out. That foam is going to help insulate the filter and the fuel line and from vibrations and all that stuff. And yeah, this one that I took off did not have that that little gasket that was in there. That sits right there. So I don't know if the factory ones don't come with that, or they just toss it if the dealership does the service for you. Who knows? Alright, well, hope this helps y'all or helps someone out.